friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with C6 Stitch, and today is Saturday, April 9th, 2022. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I have an itch. I'm so glad that you are here spending part of your day or your evening with me. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel. I hope you all had a really good week. I did. It's a very busy time at work right now because registration for fall semester opens on Tuesday, I think it is. And so a lot of students are wanting to meet to talk about what classes they should be taking and all that. So it's been busy, but it's been really good. We had Thursday, I think it was our warmest day of the year so far. I think it got up to 76, 78, something like that. It felt very, very warm. And then this weekend, we are expecting big storms to come through. And they said if this was winter, we would have a major snow event, which does not happen very often out here. But because we're in spring, it will likely be mostly rain, wind, and thunderstorms. So that's kind of predicted for later today, I think, and then into tomorrow. So, I mean, good napping weather, if you ask me. My allergies are acting up because our pollen counts are high, which I'm sure a lot of you are struggling with right now as well. So if I'm a bit stuffy or sniffly, I apologize. It's just allergies. I take my Claritin. It definitely helps with the headaches that I get from seasonal allergies, but I'm still kind of stuffy. So anyway, so it was a good week. Yeah, like I said, just busy at work, and we are in the last few weeks of the semester. So that is always very exciting, but a very busy time for students and professors as well. So I want to thank everyone for all your wonderful comments. I uploaded 2 videos. So one was the review of the BenQ e-reader lamp, the Genie e-reader lamp. And I wanted to, there were a couple questions on there that I wanted to respond to before I get into questions from last week's Flosstube. So Patricia asked me, how long do the bulbs in the lamp last, and are there replacement bulbs? And Patricia, it's a great question. I actually don't know the answer, but I did send them an email. Usually they respond within a day or two, so hopefully by next week I'll be able to have an answer for you. I don't think, it's not like a bulb where you can replace it, so I don't think there are any replacement bulbs, but I will see what they say about the longevity of the light itself, because, you know, it's not a cheap lamp, so certainly we would expect it to last a long time. So I will get back to you on that, but thank you for that question. And then Margaret, you asked a really good question that's really hard to kind of answer over a video without you just coming over and seeing for yourself how you like the lamp. Margaret asked, what kind of light does it throw? Is it a white light? Is it a warm light? So I would say, and I took a video, and I'll insert the video after I answer this, and I kind of talk about it in that video as well. I would say it's a mix between the white and the yellow light. So it's not this uber cool, cold white light, but it's not a super yellowy light that makes everything look a little yellow. It's somewhere in between. So it's really pleasant on my eyes. I personally don't like the cool white light. It's just a little too harsh. But I do know that that's good for crafting and if you're trying to match up colors and that type of thing. So it's somewhere in between. And the video I took, due to the cover that's covering the lights, the video I took, I watched it back, and it's a little bit, how the video interacts with the casing of the light. It might be a little hard to watch, but hopefully you can get a sense of what I'm talking about in the video. The video is about 1.5 minutes long, so if you aren't interested in that, or you think it will bother if you know, your eyes or anything like that, you can just skip ahead about 1.5 minutes and just skip over that video. So I'll insert that video here. So this is a video for Margaret to show you kind of the light that the BenQ e-reader lamp puts out. You can see that there are a mix of the cool white and the yellow lights, and you can turn it up or down. It's up. This is down, so you can maybe see that a little bit better, how it's a mix of them. But I would say, so it's not a harsh white light, which I don't like the harsh white lights. I like
Um, I'm playing a little too much with this. I like it just needs to focus there for a minute. There we go. I like the mix of light. So it does not throw a super yellow, warm glow. It's a really nice mix where it's not super harsh, where you're, afraid to look at yourself in the mirror. You know what type of light I'm talking about. But it's a really nice, and I would say things show up true to color. I don't do all the different types of crafts. So if there's a particular craft that you're concerned about, let me know and I can try to answer that question. But I think it gives a really great mix of light, and that it will show colors true to color if that's the concern. But let me know. I hope this was helpful.
All right, so I hope that helped answer that question, Margaret. You also asked how hot it is to work under. It's not hot at all. I keep looking up because I have it right here. I still haven't taken it back upstairs where it belongs after last week's video. I've had it on for an hour and a half now, 2 hours, and it's room temperature. I mean, it doesn't get hot at all. So that is not a concern. I have a cat hair on me. So that's not a concern at all. So hopefully that answered your questions. If you have other questions about the lamp, let me know. All right, I have a lot of great comments from questions from last week's video. So one of the things we talked about last week was, is there a lap stand that holds both sides of your Q-snap? And several of you commented and said, yes, there are actually. So I said that, I don't know that there are. I don't know how there could be, but you all corrected me, so thank you. Both Jan and Esther said Kay's Creations has an adapter that will hold both sides of your Q-snap. Esther said it's best with around an 11-inch, but probably not smaller. Probably can't adapt to smaller than an 11-inch Q-snap. When you get a little bit smaller than that, you probably will only need one clamp, is what Esther was thinking. But 11-inch Q-snap and higher, you could have both sides. So that's great. So Kay's Creations. So you might want to look into that. And there was one more that asked about... Oh, Karen, sorry, I was looking the wrong. I have a ton of comments, so I'm just kind of my notes are a mess. Karen said, the Needlework System 4 also has a system where it will hold both sides of the Q-snap. I have not heard of that one before, but it's called the Needlework System 4. So Karen, Esther, and Jan, thank you so much for those comments. That will be helpful for anybody who's looking for a stand that will hold both sides of the Q-snap. So look into those if you're interested. AJ, you made me laugh. AJ said, I really like the stats that you give, at the end of each month or the start of the new month. But why don't you include your whips total? I don't know. I think it's just kind of hard to keep track of. I never thought to do that, but I certainly can. So AJ, just for you, I'll do my whips total from this is as of, I guess, well, it would be as of today, basically. So I started the year with 38 whips. I have since finished one. So that would bring me down to 37 whips. However, I have started 8 new ones, and that includes this month. So my current whip total is 45. I plan to finish more whips, so hopefully that number will go down. But yeah, I am currently at 45 active whips. Thanks, AJ. Kathy asked, I had mentioned this white pumpkin chart that I had abandoned. I mentioned that last week because the fabric I'm using, and I'll show it here in just a minute, the fabric I'm using for one of my current pieces was another project that I abandoned. She asked, what's that chart? Where can I find it? I'll link it down below. It's a freebie from By the Bay Needle Art, Donna Bayless, and it's a freebie, and it's a really cute chart. And so the only reason why I abandoned it is because I felt like my pumpkin wasn't showing up very well on the fabric, and I didn't have the energy to frog it all. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, I'm just going to dismantle this, and I might go back to it eventually. It is a really cute chart. So I will link that down below. It's called White Pumpkin, and it's a freebie by the Bay Needle Art. Lois asked if Jan and I are still starting the Funky Flowers by the Bay. Speaking of by the Bay. And yes, we are still planning to start Funky Flowers. That is going to be our May 1 start for May Day. I have all 24 designs, so I'm going to put them all in one piece of fabric. I spent a little bit of time last weekend looking through. I know I originally said, oh, I'm just going to use my leftovers. And I think I will use my leftover floss for some of them. I'll just see. I'm not quite sure yet. A lot of them call for DMC, so I will probably just pick up. I looked through the first 4 charts because I have all 24. So she said if you buy 3 or more of the charts, she'll send you a PDF of suggestions for layouts. So I'm going to follow the one for 24, which is basically because some are horizontal and some are vertical. So if you are buying only a subset of the 24, you just want to make sure that you're taking into account which ones are vertical and which ones are horizontal. So just make sure you're paying attention to that. She has the actual hard copy charts, or they are PDFs as well. So instant gratification. So I'll link her down below as well. So you can, I'll link the actual Funky Flowers set down below. So you can look through the flowers, pick the ones you like. And you can do one of them. You can do all 24. You can do anywhere in between. So that'll be fun. Some of the called for is DMC. Some of it is specialty floss, but there's a mix. There's not a ton of specialty floss in each one. They're relatively small. I don't have them down here. I want to say they're like 40 by 70, somewhere around there. So they aren't super huge. And yeah, I think they all will fit. All 24 will fit on a fat quarter, I think. Look at me using my lingo that I'm actually starting to understand now. So yes, Funky Flowers, we're still planning to start it with Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates on May 1. So please join us. A lot of you have said, I love enabling you all. It is one of my favorite pastimes is enabling you. A lot of you said you bought the Purple Rain Haid, which is awesome. I am starting that with Candy from the 614 Stitcher. We're going to start that June 7th in honor of Prince's birthday. And then Candy and I are going to also work on it at StitchCon. So I'm going to StitchCon Weekend A. I don't know if I've mentioned that recently. So if you are going to StitchCon Weekend A, I really hope that I will run into you and get a hug and all of that. So, yeah, I hope you can make it. And if you're going to Weekend B, maybe you could take Purple Rain and work on it at Weekend B, and then we can say, oh, we all worked on this at StitchCon, regardless of what weekend we went to. But Purple Rain, and just so you know, I mentioned this last week, but Purple Rain, the called for floss is all Anchor. There's no DMC conversion, and I think that's because DMC doesn't have quite the range, especially in like purples, that Anchor does. So the floss that you will need is Anchor floss, and there's no DMC conversion. So just give you a heads up about that. I don't know why I didn't think of that before I download. I mean, it's not a problem. I don't mind using Anchor. I haven't really used it a lot. But I was just like, oh, it's Anchor. Okay. So just keep that in mind if you're going to download Purple Rain. I'll link it down below in case some of you are on the fence and just need a little push to get that one. So, I mean, it's such a great tribute. I'm doing the mini. So just so you know, I'm doing the mini. I think we talked about it at our Zoom call last month about minis versus max colors and all of that. And with something like Purple Rain, the way, if you do a mini, sometimes you lose, it can be a little bit fuzzy. You sometimes lose some of the detail. But for this piece, there isn't a lot of small, tiny details. So I think a mini would be perfectly fine. I am starting a stitching shelf with Tina from Tina Stitches into, when are we starting? No, we're starting in August, aren't we? We're starting it for World Cross Stitch Day because I need another giant Haid start. I know what Jan is saying. She's like, what about Balmy Spring Day? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just not feeling that one right now. I'm sorry, Jan. I am feeling the other ones though. So we're going to start a stitching shelf, which is huge. And this was Stitching Mommy Sarah is also working on it. And we're doing max colors. And that's because of all the detail. Now, if you don't want to do the whole stitching shelf, they do sell some of the individual scenes as separate heids. They're still really big. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to get away with stitching 100 by 100 haid or something. No, they're still really big, but you can maybe pick out like one piece of it that you really like. So I'll drop that link down below too if you're interested in taking a look at it or looking around. It's an Amy Stewart haid. It will take me years to finish. This is more about the process, that one. I would love to have it finished because I think it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. One of these years, once I get my Hawk Run Hollows kind of done, which will probably be in the next couple of years, I think I'm going to do some focus on haids because I'm loving them and I really want to make some progress and I would love to get a finish on some of them. Charlie, you asked such a great question. What are the steps? So last week I said I was going to get some pieces ready to take to the framers, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Anyway, Charlie asked, what are the steps to get a piece ready to finish? Like, what do you do? I thought this was a great question. So what I do is I iron them. I don't really iron pieces throughout my stitching, as you could tell by all the wrinkles when I show them to you. I really mostly wait until they're completely done. I always put a towel down. So I have my ironing board and then I put a towel down because that gives it a little bit of extra cushion so it doesn't smush the threads as much as having like just the hard ironing board. So I put just like a clean towel down and I always iron on the back side only, never from the front. And this is because sometimes if your iron is not as clean as you think it is, it can leave some spots on your fabric. And so doing it from the back, then that spot will be on the fabric, on the back. Hopefully it won't show through to the front. But also sometimes when you iron, it can leave a shine. So if you've ever done any type of sewing or quilting, you always iron from the back because it can leave a little bit of a shine on the front, which can just make it look a little different. So I always iron from the back. Depending on what threads I use, I never use steam. I'm trying to think. Okay, so I did Harbor Haven, which I took into frame. That one I used mostly DMC, except for the water was an overdyed thread. So I didn't want to use any type of steam for fear that would make the overdyed thread run or bleed. I do use a little bit of Best Press. Let's see how many comments I get about that one. But I use it very sparingly because a lot of my pieces they're either a mix. I haven't finished anything that's fully DMC yet that I've had to iron. So you just have to be really careful that you don't get those overdyed threads wet because they could run. So I just very, very lightly, sparingly, and I try to avoid the areas where I have the actual overdyed stitching. So like Harbor Haven, I didn't like, water down with the Best Press. I didn't water down the whole piece and then iron it. I just was very specific about the areas where I put it in to try to get the wrinkles out. I don't know how good of a job I did, honestly. We'll see. I do feel like some of the, sometimes I tend to be a really tight stitcher. So, once you pin it or lace it in the back, it will kind of pull out some of those wrinkles as well. The other thing I do, then I always flip it to the other side and I hold it up and I think, okay, if this was on my wall as is, would I be happy with it? Are there cat hairs in it? Did I don't know, are any threads showing through? I just give it a quick look over and look at it. Okay, if it's going on the wall like this, would I be happy with it? So that's really all I do. It's basically just ironing the piece from the back. It's how I prepare a piece to go to the framers. If you have other questions about that, Charlie, just let me know and I will be happy to answer them below. And our last question, Granny Stitcher. Granny asked me, what is the name of the Silks for You floss that you got? And so I showed this. This is a gift from birthday gift from the Sunshine Stitchers. They gave me a good chunk of the hank of Silks for You floss. There is no name on this. It's just a mystery color. So there's no specific name, but it is gorgeous. Sorry about the plastic, but I want to keep it all together. But it just says mystery color by Silks for You. So sorry I don't have any more information than that. There you go. All right, so that's all the questions. Thank you so much for your questions. I love answering them, and I feel like I learned so much from you all, and hopefully that helped. Okay, let's get into the whips for this week. First up, I worked on my StitchCon Small, which I'm not going to show you until it's all done. I worked on that last Sunday while I was watching the Sunshine Stitchers. I'm going to need to figure out a way to incorporate more than just Sunday stitching on this piece because it's a little bit bigger than I expected, and it's going to be a little bit more work than I expected. But I'm committed now. So I'm taking video, and I will show that to you once it's all done and gifted and all of that. You'll get a video in June, a big StitchCon video. Okay, but what I can show you is that I worked on another night on Educated. This is by Bent Creek. This is what it will look like. This was gifted to me a long time ago by my friend Andrea. And this is going to look funny. You'll see. This is the piece of fabric that I abandoned White Pumpkin on. Okay. So you can see this is the White Pumpkin that like really doesn't show up very well. And so I was like, ugh. And I don't know. I just got tired and I was like, I don't want to rip that out. It's a lot of stitching. This is a 16 count Ada. You can see the kind of some of the gold sparkles in it. It's gold standard just by Charles Craft. So this stuff will not be in the piece. It's just this cat. So I got the cat is mostly done. This is his bell. I am going to do that in Krynic, and then the little, what do you call it? The part that dingles. That's probably not the right word, is it? I'm doing great today. The little bell part, the little ball part. I'm going to do a bead. I'm just going to put a bead there. And then I started on the book. He is sitting on a stack of books, so I got one book done, and I started on the next book. This one probably isn't going to come back out until, I think it's September, when the designer, Focus on a Designer, is Bent Creek. But I should be able to finish this year. But I just picked the colors that I had at home. I had almost none of the called for. The cat is stitched mostly in Soot by, what is Soot? Is it a Weeks? And it kind of looks like my Simon. So that's cute. That's fun. So that was Educated. So I showed it, I think, last week, and then I worked on it another night. And that is for my theme for the Magazine Monthly Challenge of Literature is our theme this month. So that is done. My goal on that one is done. And like I said, that will come back out whenever the Bent Creek designer focuses on Bent Creek. Okay. Next up, I worked on both of my Hades actually this week, which was fun. Okay, so first up was Cat Alphabet. This is artwork by Irina Garmashova. This is what it will look like when it's all done. They also sell these as individual letters. So if you just wanted to do like your initial or something like that, you could do that. Of course, I'm doing the whole thing. And I am up in here. I'm still up in this corner, way up here. So I got a ways to go. I don't even think I'm at 1% done yet. But there we are. Because really, I'm only working on this one day a month, which is when I said earlier that like I want to, put more of a focus on it. But I just don't have time this year because I'm trying to finish up other pieces. Okay, that's the back. Okay, so this is 18 count Ada that I'm stitching it on. 2/1, sorry. And I really like it. I think 18 count is kind of my happy place. For a stitching shelf, I'm going to try maybe some 20 or 22 count to see if I like it. Because that's going to be a giant piece if I do it on 18 count. These are all going to be giant, but that one's really going to be giant. Okay, so here's where we are. You can see the C starting to come in on Cat. So I kind of worked in this area. I did all these stitches over here as we're kind of moving over. I haven't gone down very far, of course. There's a lot. So these threads are, there we go. I mean, there's a lot of kind of block stitching in this. I mean, maybe it doesn't look like it, but you can fill in quite a bit. So I tend to get a lot of stitches on this. I worked on this for 3 hours and I got 386 stitches, which is great because so much of it, at this point at least, is kind of that block stitching. So you can see the outline of the C now, which is really fun to see. See, get it? So I think the next month when I pull this out, I think I'm going to try to fill in more of the C and kind of work our way over that way. And these are my needle minders that EJ got me. So there you go. That is Cat Alphabet. I love working on this one. Like, this is one I just don't want to put away. These are all my extra. This is how, these are the extras. These are not, I'll show you sometime when I get it done. I'm, again, changing up how I organize my threads for my heights. I'll show it to you another time. But these are the extra skeins that I have, or the skeins that the colors that I haven't used yet. But these are all like the extras that I'm going to need. And so I don't know if this is the best method, but they're really easy to find because they're in numeric order, right? I mean, it's a lot, and you could tell none of these are all still skeined up, if you will. And I just have them in numeric order, and I just have them attached with these little plastic things. I think these are on my Amazon storefront, so if you're interested in that. So that's just kind of how I keep them. And then I keep my actual threads that I'm working on somewhere else in a file cabinet, but, or not cabinet, but a file box. But I'm changing that up because I'm learning as I go what I like and what I don't like. Okay. So I just dropped some stash on the floor. Okay, we're going to put that over there now. Next I worked on Autumn Quakers. I got my 12 hours for this month in. And this was, our acrostic for this month is bookmark to go along with the theme literature. So Autumn Quakers counted for both of the K's for Karen Kluba. It counted for the A for Autumn Quakers and the R for Rosewood Manor. So I did 12 hours. I'm doing a 12-hour rotation on this each month until it gets done. This is what it will look like. I am all done with the first 3 pages. I am almost done now with page 4. I worked a lot on page 4. This week I got this motif done, this little one done, and I started working on that one. So page 4 is almost done. Now, if you calculate, so this is the 4th month. So we're kind of on track. There are 9 pages, but pages 3, 6, and 9 are not full pages. They're very, they're just like, I don't know, a third of a page or so. I'm using the Valdani threads. I have a bunch of them in floss away bags because once you use up, you can see this one, the label is starting to kind of come off because once you start using up the thread, the label starts coming off. So I put them in floss away bags and I just tape the label to the front and I just put them on a ring so then I can just use them. Okay, this is on the called for 28 count doubloon by Picture This Plus. And this is where we're at. Oh, I guess I did this motif too. So this motif took a while to do because it's kind of big and there's a lot of color changes. I did this little one here. I started on this one on the bottom. So this one is done through page 4. And then there's a whole bunch more that goes down on page 5. I did go a little bit into page 5 just to complete, to get it to a point where it starts. But there's more down here on page 5. But I'll do that when I get to page 5. And then I did these, little tiny things that took no time. And then I started on this one, which is really cool. I didn't quite get that one finished, but that's okay. That will come out next month and that will easily be finished. And then we'll be able to go on to page 5 for the month of May. So we are getting there. We will, I think it's looking good that we will finish this one this month. Or sorry, not this month, this year. So that'll be fun. So that is Autumn Quakers by Karen Kluba. All right, and then last night I pulled out my other Hay that I'm actively working on right now, which is Cardinal Cottage. This is artwork by Donna Gelsinger, and this is what it will look like. I think it's so, so pretty. Of course, I'm starting up in here, so it doesn't look like much right now. It just looks like kind of, what are you even doing, Carolyn? So I'm right up here in this corner. This is also on 18 count Ada. And this is where I got to. Now this one takes me a little bit longer to work on. Partly because, you know, I didn't deskein, is that the right word? All the flosses. So as I get to them, I will like pull them apart and, you know, kind of make them into a usable skein. So part of that is taking some time away. And this one has a lot more. The section I'm in, at least right now, is a lot more, there's a little bit more confetti. I mean, it's still not too bad yet, but there is more confetti than in Cat Alphabet. I was able to get in 4 hours last night, which was awesome, but I got 340 stitches in, which is less, about 46 stitches less than I got in 3 hours on Cat Alphabet. So, and that's just combination of me still pulling apart the skeins, and it's just a little more confetti. So you can see I did get a lot filled in all in this section here. You can see there's some spots in here. I'm missing that color. I couldn't find it anywhere. I don't know if I ever had it, to be honest. So that's $7.45. So I'll have to go pick up that at some point or place an order or whatever it is. So like I said, it's not looking like much. It's still in the background. Again, I'm at like 0.3% done with this one, so it's not going to look like much for a while, but I feel good about, you know, something really, it just feels really good to, like, you know, you start out your stitching session and there's a lot of holes in here, and to just kind of fill it in and be like, hey, that section is kind of filled in as much as it can be. And I can, this one for some reason I'm kind of going down a little more than across, but I kind of want to, as you can tell, I'm not doing block stitching on these. I'm just kind of, because I used Pattern Keeper, and so I'm just kind of going wherever, and you can see in the background there's some threads that are carried down right there, but those will be covered up soon enough. So next month when this comes out, I'm not sure what direction it'll go. I feel like it should go this way a little bit more, the direction the threads are pointing. But, you know, I'm just kind of, I don't know. I just kind of take it where the thread goes. So this is really fun. I am trying to cut these off, and I'm trying to weave in the ends a little bit more. I know it makes it a little bit bulky, but I'm trying to weave in the ends. It's because these really annoy me when I'm stitching. So I'm going to try to not do this method as much anymore and try to weave in the ends as I can. So that is Cardinal Cottage. Another Hade. And again, look at it one more time, and I'm right up in there. So eventually, I mean, I got some of the white done. So eventually it'll look like something. I mean, when I get into this section and the house, I mean, it'll be really great. It's years away though. Okay, so that's what I worked on this week. And so now, hold on one second. Some of my haul dropped on the floor. I had to pick that up. Okay, so my haul from market came in this week from Garan. The holdup was that I ordered a piece of Fortnite fabrics. All right, I'm back. I had some of my haul fell on the floor, so I had to pick that up. All right, so my market order came in from Garan Stitchery. We were waiting on a piece of fabric from Fortnite Fabrics. So that came in. I got a fat quarter on 32 count linen of the color Incredible. And I'll show you that here. It's this beautiful pink mottled. Like, look at that. Isn't that pretty? And I don't know. It smells good. I don't know what I'm going to stitch on it, but I thought it was really pretty. And I had to have it in my stash. So that came. It's called Incredible. So that's fun. And then I got, from Praiseworthy Stitches, I got this Haunted Casket Kit. So this is super cute. So I'll show it to you in a minute. But what you're stitching is you're stitching this little, it's like a little pincushion in there. And it comes with a scissor fob and you can paint it. Mine doesn't quite look like that, but I'll show it to you. It comes with instructions, comes with a piece of fabric. I don't know what this is. Maybe 28 or 32 count, a little square of fabric. It probably says in there. I haven't looked real closely at the instructions. And then here's our coffin. So you can see mine says trick or treat. I think it's really cute. It lights up. I'm not going to take that out, but it does light up. And so you can paint this. But then inside the coffin, so you open it here, is all the pieces that you need to make your piece. So here are the pieces for the scissor fob, which I think are really cute. You have these two foam squares. I don't know what they're for, but they're for something. You have your little googly eyes. And you have your floss. And then you can see this is the component that lights up. So I just thought this was really cute. I thought it was really unique. I have never seen anything like this before. I don't know. Maybe they have other kits like this. But I thought this was just darling, so I had to have it. So I have it. So that will be fun, and it won't take very long to stitch. Like I said, again, what you're stitching is this little piece in here. So that won't take long. And it's kind of like a craft, right? Because you get to go get your paints and all that. All right, and then I did get a few charts. So I got the Erica Michaels sampler book. Now this is just the instructions of how to finish it. The actual charts are for free on ericamichaels.com, the sampler book. So you can download them, and then this is the instructions on how to finish it. I guess she revised these from the, it says, this revision of the sampler book has been condensed from the original first published in 2006. Is supplemented with color, images, diagrams, and other details. You will need to download the original complementary charts and stitch diagrams found on the Rainbow Gallery website. So, and she said details are inside. So I haven't even opened this because this just came in the mail yesterday. So, but I'm excited about that. Shelia from the Sunshine Stitchers just finished that. I love this one. This one just speaks to my heart. I don't know why. This is by Tiny Modernist. It's called Scissors with Flowers. I think it's so darling and so pretty and will look so cute in the craft room. No, I haven't finished the craft room yet. You all crack me up. Every once in a while I'll get a comment like, have you finished it yet? Have you finished it yet? I love it. You guys are so funny. Like, no, I haven't finished it yet. I think this is super darling. Very much like I love flowers, and then the kind of the nod to needlework or sewing or whatever it is. I think this is really cute. Again, it's called Scissors with Flowers by Tiny Modernist. So I picked up that. And then the last chart I got, this is by Petal Pusher. It's called How Does Your Garden Grow? And I just think it's really sweet. Like the wildflowers there. You can kind of do whatever you want. You can see these are 4 different charts that they put all in a row. So you can do it however you want. I think it's really, really darling. So that's what I got from Market this year. I know I picked up a couple other things from, I got Let Love Rain from Acorns. Maybe there was another one. I can't remember quite yet, but that was my Market haul. All right. So we are at 3,984 subscribers, so almost to 4,000. So when we hit 4,000, I'll be doing a giveaway. So if you watch and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe, because as soon as we hit 4,000, we'll do some giveaway of some charts. So that will be exciting. All right, let's do plans now. So this coming week, I'm pulling out, look at this bag, by Garon, Bayun Cat. This is an Owl Forest embroidery, and of course I forgot once again the finished it's a box because it came as a kit. But you'll get the idea. You'll get the idea of it. My goal is to finish it this year. So this is where we're at. I'm using the kit floss. I love their floss and the kit fabric. You can see I have a house started there, not quite finished. There's a lot of, this is a relative, I mean, it's not that big of a piece, but there's so much stitching in it. I still have a whole, underneath the cat is a whole row of little mice. It's really cute, and trees. And, you know, the motifs carry over on this side. So I would like to get it done this year. So I'm going to work on this 2 days this week. This is going to count for the bee and bookmark acrostic for Bayonne Cat. I think it's really, really pretty. Okay, so that is going to come out this week. Then we are going to bring out Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. This is going to be my M in bookmark, M for Moonlight. And also this is my whip go call for this month. One of my whip go pieces for this month. So I'm going to work on it for 4 days. So this is the block I'm on block 3. And so you can see it says in the moonlight, and there's a big moon behind the headless horseman there. So I'm still working on this block. My goal on this piece is blocks 3 and 4. And 4 looks a little less stitch heavy. This one you can see has a lot. I mean, it's not quite full coverage of that block, but there's a lot of stitching in that block. I mean, this one is 100% full coverage. This one is almost full coverage. So next year, I'm not sure what I'm going to do next year, because maybe I'll do the center and then the following year do this and this. I'm not sure. We'll see. I mean, eventually this one is going to replace, I think it might be even next year, actually. Next year, I think my goal is to finish this one. I think that's what I have lined up. I started out with 4 Hawk Run Hollows all at once. I finished spring at Hawk Run Hollow last year. I have not taken that in to get framed yet, just because I wanted to get Harbor Haven framed first. And I'm working on autumn at Hawk Run Hollow this year, so that will be done this year. And then I think next year I'm going to focus to finish this one. So if I can get these 2 blocks done this year, then that would mean I just have 2/3 of it to go next year. Oh my gosh. So that will be 8 blocks. That'll be a lot. 8 blocks in 12 months, but there's a lot of stitching in these blocks. So we'll see what we get. And then the following year will be the Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow, which I have very little done on, I think. I think I have block 1 done, I think is all I have. So we need to get moving. Anyway, so this, I'll be working on this block this month. So this is coming out again. This is, I think, the 3rd time that Halloween has been called. I haven't shown it to you yet. I'll show it to you. This is the 3rd time that Halloween has been called on my whip go board. It's on there 4 times. So, and because this block is taking forever, I'm going to have to figure out how to get that other block in, another time, just extra, not counting on whip go calls. Okay, so this is where we're at. I think it's going to be so pretty, though, when it's done, right? We're going to have a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but we're going to have, this is bigger fabric than it needs to be, because there's only 1 more block that goes on that row. So then we'll take a closer look at this. This is 32 count. Everybody say it with me. This is 32 count Vanilla Latte by Be Stitch Me. It's what I'm stitching. All of my Hawk Run Hollows are on the same fabric. It's a very wonderful neutral fabric. So you can see I have worked on this a lot, and I still have a lot to go. I still have most of the horse. I don't know how he's keeping his balance there with only 2 front legs. So I have most of the horse, the horseless headman, the words at the top, and the giant boot. I will be surprised if this block gets done this month. I don't think it will. I really don't. But you never know. Crazier things have happened in the world of cross stitch, folks. So that's where we're at with Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. So this will be good to pull out. It's going to be such a gorgeous piece. I know I often say, oh, there's so much stitching in each block. And there is, especially when I'm trying to do, I think that's the mistake that I wouldn't say mistake. it pushes me to get it done, right? Oops, I tapped you, sorry. But saying I'm going to do a block a month, which can work well for certain projects. I just feel like for the Hawk Run Hollows, it's really deceiving how much stitching is in each block. And so it kind of puts that like pressure, and like, not that I feel pressure in kind of a bad way, but like, it helps me get it done. But like, I definitely go through phases where I'm like, I just feel so far from a finish, right? But you got to keep at it and it will happen. I still feel really good about finishing spring at Hawk Run Hollow. I do think, I know you probably can't remember now, but at the top, it says Hawk Run. There's a little like banner that says Hawk Run, and I changed it to say Zook, I think. I don't like my colors, so I'm probably going to pull that out and restitch it before I take it in to get framed. I'll show that to you when I get to that point. But anyway, they're a lot of work. They're so worth it, and you feel so accomplished when you do it. But I maybe wish I hadn't started all 4 at once, because now I'm very much in the mode of I want to get these done so then I can, focus more on my HAEDs and all that. But I'm still probably maybe 2 or 3 years away from getting all of them done. So that's just something to keep in mind. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Okay. So the next piece that I'm going to work on, and this is for Easter, and this is also for the 2 O's in bookmark. O is for I'm stitching this. This is a gift I'm stitching for a family. If you recall, last summer, I went on vacation with this family. We went to 3 national parks. We went to Glacier, Yellowstone, and Grand Tetons. It was a great trip. Their son that was also on that trip, his name is Oliver. So I am doing the O's for Oliver. I could have also done the O's for Al Forest Embroidery, the Bayonne cat, which maybe I should have done, but I really wanted to stitch on something Eastery for Easter. And I was going to do a new start of like a cute Easter piece, or maybe start Gathering Eggs by Mirabillia. I don't know why I couldn't say that. But instead I'm like, hey, instead of starting something, because I'm starting so many projects this year, why don't you pull out something that you should be working on instead? And that's Stained Glass Window. This is designed by Nora of Tangled Threads and Things. And this is what it's going to look like. I think it's beautiful. Of course, it's full coverage inside there. It's 106 by 80. So it's not, it's a lot, but it's, it's doable. This is in April 2021, Just Cross Stitch magazine. This is what the cover looks like. And I am stitching this. See, my pages fall out. I'm stitching this on the called for. It's a French something. I didn't write it down. I'll tell you next week. I can't remember what it is. It's a linen. It's a French something linen. And this is where I'm at. Border is complete. It all matches up. It's great. It's all in DMC. So my goal on this is 18 hours for the year. I think I maybe have only pulled it out once so far. So I have like only 3 hours done on it probably. So I'm looking forward to giving this a couple of days of attention around Easter. I think that will be super fun. And kind of Eastery. So I don't know where I'm going to go. I might start in the center and then kind of do like a few lengths of thread in the center and then go out and work on the border and then go back to the center. I'm not sure yet. So that's where we're at with Stained Glass Window. So that is my plans. That's what I'm going to work on this coming week. My next day of working at Acorns is April 30th, so still a couple weeks away. So if you're in the area and you want to stop by Acorns, you can come. And stop by anytime, of course. But if you want to come watch me work, haven't learned the cash register yet. But just be warned, you're going to be enabled, and I'm not financially responsible for any enabling that happens while at Acorns or on this video. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful stitchy week ahead. I hope your allergies are not too bad if you're in a place with bad allergies. I think the South especially is getting hit really hard with pollen. So hang in there and just stay indoors and stitch. Why not? All right, have a wonderful week, everyone. I'll see you next week. Bye.